Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is March 28th, 2021. I got the date right today. I didn't have to struggle with it. I looked it up ahead of time, and so I knew what day it was. Uh, this past year, every day has been pretty much the same. I didn't have a whole lot of definition between day to day, so it was easy to get lost in what day it was of the week, much less what day of the month it was. But we're back getting similar, starting to think along lines that we used to think. At least I am. Uh, and we want to welcome you to the Zoom meeting of the Fellowship of Spirit in Farmington, New Mexico. And we are glad that you are here. We hope that you understand that we are a fellowship of people who accept you exactly as you are today. We don't care about your race or your pocketbook or your political affiliation. None of that matters. Whether you have money, you don't have money, it doesn't matter, because we see you as an aspect of God and worthy of all of the love and compassion that we can give to you and receive from you. And so we're just happy that you're here. And you don't have to believe anything. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to. We have no structures to join our little canoe club here. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to come and enjoy, be happy. That's what we want for each other, is to be happy. So with that in mind, we had a little bit of, we had some good news over the weekend. I have one announcement that Fred and I and Steve showed up a little later, but we were able to get 95% of our Zoom meeting at the physical church ready to go. Okay, we needed a couple of, we got the part about about being able to see it on a big screen, on the big screen TV that we put over there on the side of the pulpit. That is where, on the east side, on the right side, if you're looking out, is that where Fred's little room is back there. It's mounted up there, and we're going to adjust it so that everyone can see it. We have sound, and we just need one little piece, a little connector, to make it so that the sound actually goes through our sound system that we have at the church with the big speakers and everything. Everyone will be able to hear clearly. You'll be glad to hear that, Margaret. So she has hearing challenges, and so she'll be glad to hear that. We'll be able to see people who are distant. We'll be able to see. You don't want to make you to be pressured that you have to come back to church just because a lot of people are meeting there. We will still continue our Zoom presence. You'll still be able to access us remotely from Oregon or Colorado, Kentucky, Belize, wherever you are. You're still going to be able to see it. There will probably be less people on the screen because some of the people will be in the church. And but we'll still be able to have speakers from far away. Everything will be like it was before, only better. And we're happy about that. Zoom has taught us and made our footprint in the world a little bit bigger than it was before. And we intend to continue to expand on that. So, Margaret, would you give us an opening prayer, please?
Okay. Dear God, ever expanding, ever extending unconditional love, thank you for helping us to have just a little bit better understanding of what that love is that surrounds us. And as we gather today, that we may be able to really sense that love, your presence in our lives, and realize that as we can let go of worries, of anxieties, of fears, we open channels that allow your love and your blessings to flow to us. Thank you for helping us really grasp everything we need to understand that is said here today. in the spirit of Christ consciousness. Amen.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. So very appropriate. Thank you very much. A good message. And, I was thinking earlier when I was considering what I was going to say to open up is that, we try to achieve a childlike, not childish, but a childlike, an innocent uh, curiosity about the universe and our position in it. That's where our knowledge begins with I don't know, and that's I think as a group of people that's where we try to be. We try to set everything else aside so that we can learn more uh, about the universe, about the spiritual aspect of our lives and how that affects us as we grow with each other. So that's really good. Fred, I want to thank you for coming and doing most of the work yesterday to get our Zoom stuff going. And you have anything to add about our Zoom presence?
No, I've got the two connectors that we need, so I'll probably be over there today. And after I get over there today, I'll put those two connectors together and see if I can test it out from the podium and see what that looks like and sounds like. So
this is the microphone that I have. Do you think it will work?
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
A professional kind. Try the other ones. This one seemed to be the best. It's not that expensive, but you said we needed to get a microphone, and that's the one I would get one like I have before here.
Yeah, that's fine. That would be more for the performance to be on the Zoom thing, right? So
right. I guess you said we needed a microphone. I just wasn't sure about it. Anyway, we can handle those details later. But in the meantime, will you sing us a little song?
Sure. Have you got the screen shared?
I do now.
All right.
I'm going to mute everyone, and then you could come back on. I didn't do that earlier. It helps with our feedback. Here we go.
Sure, everybody knows this song. So. Oh, the dawn was coming and the day was falling in that the day was done. But the rain kept raining and the clouds kept rolling and they broke out the golden sun. And I see that rainbow shine, see that rainbow shine, and I see that rainbow shine. Look away over yonder at the top of the mountain, and you'll see that rainbow shine. I was feeling so gloomy and so tired and so lonely. Yes, I felt so lonely and old. But that sun kept shining and the rain kept raining and the rainbow filled up my soul. see that rainbow shine. See that rainbow shine. Look away over yonder at the top of the mountain and you see that rainbow shine. Oh, my friends on the road, if you have a heavy load and your life is too hard for you, just keep your eyes on changing skies and you'll see that the light will come breaking through. And you'll see that rainbow shine. See that rainbow shine. Yes, you'll see that rainbow shine. See that rainbow shine. Look away over yonder at the top of the mountain and you'll see that rainbow shine. Yes, you'll see that rainbow shine. See that rainbow shine. Yes, you'll see that rainbow shine. See that rainbow shine. Look away over yonder at the top of the mountain and you'll see that rainbow. See that rainbow shine.
All right. Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome.
Pretty energetic way to start our meeting, and that's really good. We'll start off in a good way. You know, today we've had some gray days this week. I had some gray days in my life. I felt it pretty gray, but today the sun is, the sky is just brilliant with bright sunshine and no clouds at all. Just completely blue everywhere that I can see, and it's really refreshing to have that. I feel better when the sun shines than I do when there's gray skies. It's just the way that I am. So anyway, today is Linda Crone is going to bring us our message. And before we do that, though, we're going to have Carol to do our spiritual reading.
Okay. All right. Okay, I found this in the Chicken Soup of the Soul. And it reminds me of spring, of course. It's called Risking. Two seeds lay side by side in the fertile spring soil. The first seed said, I want to grow. I want to send my roots deep into the soil beneath me and thrust my sprouts through the earth's crust above me. I want to unfold my tender buds, but like banners to announce the arrival of spring. I want to feel the warmth of the sun on my face and the blessings of the morning dew on my petals. And she grew. The second seed said, I am afraid if I send my roots into the ground below, I don't know what I will encounter in the dark. If I push my way through the hard soil above me, I may damage my delicate sprouts. What if I let the buds open and a snail tries to eat them? And if I were to open my blossoms, a small child may pull me from the ground. No, it is much better for me to wait until it is safe. So she waited. A yard hen scratching around the early spring ground for food found the waiting seed and properly ate it. Moral of the story, those of us who refuse to risk and grow get swallowed up by life. And then I have a short prayer. It's the joy for Easter was born of Good Friday sorrow, and it's Helen Stein Rice. Who said the darkness of the night would never turn to day? Who said the winter's bleakness would never pass away? Who said the fog would never lift and let the sun shine through? Who said the skies, now overcast, would never more be blue? Why should we ever entertain these thoughts so dark and grim, and let the brightness of our minds grow cynically and dim? when we know beyond all questions that winter turns to spring, and on the notes of sorrow, new songs are made to sing. For no one sheds a teardrop or suffers loss in vain, for God is always there to turn our losses into gain. And every burden borne today and every present sorrow are but God's happy hamburgers or whatever of a joyous, bright tomorrow. It's not a hamburger. That's it. I just couldn't say the word.
Well, thank you, Carol. We love you and we appreciate you and you and your whole family, the energy and the love that you bring to the table. We just enjoy it every week.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wendy, I was just scrolling through who was here. I can't see everyone at once when I have the speaker view on. And I saw that Wendy came. And Wendy, we're glad that you're able to be here. And and hope that you have been feeling our prayers for your family and stuff. So it's really good that you're here. Okay, to our main speaker, who is Linda Crone. She's been an educator. She was in education for 38 years as a teacher and a children's librarian. She taught in the math, science, and teacher education department at Fort Lewis College. She presented technology workshops for teachers throughout New Mexico State University. For 2 years, she worked as the New Mexico State Department of Education to recertify classroom teachers. She worked for Jostin Learning Corporation and taught teachers on the reservation how to use computers in their classrooms to enhance learning. And recently, she has been helping children with learning disabilities to read. She has a master's degree in computer education from Lesley College in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And she has been a member of FOS for about 8 or 9 years. And she always has a good message, and I'm anxious to hear it. So I'm turning it over. Let's all welcome Linda Crone. You'll have to unmute.
Mute. Did that work?
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how to do it on my iPad. Our internet is really sketchy, so hopefully it'll stay on. The title of my talk changed because I had something, Jerry asked me to speak a long time ago, and so I had something prepared, but something just came up when in the last couple of weeks. And so I just one day sat down and the whole thing changed. The title of my talk was, So You Think You're So Enlightened? Go visit relatives for a week and see what happens. So since the pandemic, my regular day has consisted of getting up early, going for a morning walk, have a little green smoothie for breakfast, and then meditation for 45 minutes. And I spend a few hours reading some spiritual books, and I prided myself. I mean, really prided myself on being so spiritual, so mindful, living in this moment, seeing each one of us as the one, not looking to the future or the past to make me happy, letting go of judgments of others and myself. I was saying yes to the present moment. And I believe that nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. And right there, in that one sentence, nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know, showed up with a bang when I went to visit my relatives for a week. I decided to take a trip since I was been fully vaccinated to see some friends and family. And I haven't been anywhere but home, to the grocery store, and then back again for an entire year. So stepping into a busy airport was overwhelming. There were people everywhere. Even with masks on, I felt a moment of panic being surrounded by so many others. Right from this moment that I stepped into that airport, my judgment started kicking in. I was upset because some people had their masks down here. Some people had them on their chin. Some people had them wrapped around their neck. And immediately I was into the etiquette of the proper way to wear a mask. And that they probably didn't believe in the pandemic, or that they didn't regard other people's safety, or that they maybe were allergic to those masks, and on and on and on. And finally, I got such a headache of trying to think of all the reasons why I was right and they were definitely wrong. My judgment did not end with the plane ride, but it continued for most of the week. The children watched too much TV. The Zoom lessons online were confusing and they were easy to get out of. They ate too much sugar. They needed to get more exercise, get out in nature. It's always easy to judge when you're looking from the outside. And ultimately, when we judge, we are judging ourselves. And nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. In an excerpt from Articles About Spirituality, it is not our job to convert anyone else to our beliefs or to judge another human for theirs. We are all growing constantly, and that means what you are today may not be what you are tomorrow. So when you are right enough to dictate to another human being how they should be, if you do this, it is not only your ego it's only your ego speaking. It's not really the truth. Every single soul on this entire planet has a spirit, and subconsciously or otherwise is on their own private path to enlightenment. For any of us to decide, that we know what is right for another human being is not the best path for our journey. Who is right? Who is better? In one instance, we may criticize others for their apparent lack of spirituality, and then we find out later that they are filled with wisdom and depth. Our paths are perfect for our individual life. We need to worry about our own and not another's. Our beliefs are simply the way we have chosen to see the world. They are not necessarily right or wrong. So when we judge people or circumstances, we are looking through our own set of beliefs and circumstances, which perhaps are not true for those that we are judging. They see a different world than we do because of where they've been and what they have experienced. So when we judge another, we have lost the knowing that all things are connected. All things have a purpose. All things have polarities. Many years ago, at the beginning of my teaching career, the counseling department implemented a program that was to teach children values. I was one of several teachers who introduced the program to my students. After a few months, a very strict religious group met at their church and decided that we were trying to teach their children secularism and humanism. The group targeted the handful of people who were piloting the program. They harassed us publicly. They printed editorials in the newspapers. They organized town hall meetings. They sat in our classrooms to gather material to condemn us as teachers and the program. There are few things in life that are more painful than being the target of other people's harsh judgment. There is virtually no way to counter accusations when a group's beliefs are so polarized that they leave no room for a different point of view. The experience left me in a big turmoil, and it took me years to get over that feeling of being attacked, and it lowered my self-esteem, and it made me feel as if my judgment about how to teach children was impaired. I spent many sleepless nights in a loop of defending accusations and making attack plans of my own. We all suffered. Those that brought the judgments, the children, and those who were the recipients of those judgments. We had lost our connection to one another. We forgot all the experiences have a purpose, and all things have an opposite side to them. Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. Trying to come to grips with what that whole painful experience was trying to teach me, it did take years and some counseling and some deep introspection. And some days, I am not even sure that my ego has let go of that experience even now. One of the ways that I tried to cope with the judgment of others through that whole thing was through pity. I pitied them. Did that work? No. Pity is one of the ways we actually judge others. It is impossible to pity someone without seeing them as inferior to ourselves, to be lacking in some aspect we think they should possess. The only way we can truly help someone in a challenging situation is by releasing all judgment and seeing him or her as the empowered being that they truly are. I decided on the second half of my flight that I would really work on not judging anyone. It lasted for about a minute. When a large woman in a robe sat down next to me, she was accompanied by a small child. She started talking on her cell phone very loudly with very colorful language. In my head, I repeated the mantra, I will not judge this woman. I will not judge this woman. I will not. And then, why is she talking so loudly? Wonder who she's swearing at. A poor guy. I bet he hates that. Boy, I wouldn't want to be her little child. On and on and on. And then she hung up. She picked up that little boy and she hugged him so fiercely and with so much love that it brought tears to my eyes. Who was I to judge another person so harshly? Somehow our society has lost perspective on the difference between opinion, beliefs, and the truth. Ultimately, one has nothing to do with the other. Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean it's justified. Take the time to evaluate the difference between your opinion and the truth. Soon you will discover that a huge majority of what you believe is only your opinion. And there are plenty of other people who don't believe the same thing, including the person you are judging. Did I go off?
No, you're still there. You're fine.
Oh, okay. I thought I was. I noticed my internet was flicking on and off. This is an article from Pathfinding by Julia Peters. Judgment is one of those qualities like desire and anger, the most spiritual perspectives that we try to avoid. We want to love unconditionally and forgive generously. Perhaps we even leave judging to whatever God is in charge. As nice as it sounds, it's not particularly functional. All our emotions have an adaptive purpose. Each one is there for a reason. Trying to ignore them is like refusing to use our built-in internal compass. So what is our judgment for? What should we do with our judgment of others? When we judge others, it is usually to shame the person we are judging, to make us right and make them wrong. Shaming someone can cause isolation, pain, and might even end up prolonging the behavior you are judging. You tell somebody they are stupid for liking purple bears, and you better believe they will start a purple bear club. Whatever we choose to do with our judgment, we must do it with a healthy dose of compassion, both for ourselves and others. Most commonly, judgment acts as a reflection, mirroring whatever we are most uncomfortable with in ourselves. It was Carl Jung who said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Everyone is our mirror. Our own reflection in others shows us not only who we are, but also how to be better." Carly Benson, "What We See in Others is a Reflection," wrote that everyone we meet is reflecting something back to us. Each person that comes into our life is placed there for reasons beyond our own knowing. Sometimes it takes a little while for us to recognize what exactly it is that they are reflecting back to us. But in time, and as long as we are paying attention to it, we can begin to recognize the reflections that we need to see. Reflections can come in the form of triggers. When we see a negative reflection of ourselves, we may feel anger or sadness. When we see a reflective positive of something we desire, we tend to feel excited or motivated. Paying attention to the emotional clues and learning the language of reflective triggering. The closer we look, the more our perspective changes and the higher we are able to elevate ourselves. Everyone around us is reflecting something to us if we look hard enough to find it. Each person offers us the chance to grow, to learn, and to excel into better versions of ourselves. We can learn so much from other people if we tap into a new way of thinking and a new way of looking at things. Usually this means we must look into the mirror of someone else and take a genuine and honest look at what they are reflecting back to us. With this shift in perspective, we begin to see people for who they are, and it offers us a better understanding of who we are as well. It also allows us to move into a space of gratitude for each person that comes into our path, for they are there to help shape us into who we were meant to be. One of the last evenings of my visit, I decided that I needed to take some time to sit quietly and reflect on what was going on with my judgments. Nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. I turned all the things that I was judging around, and I began to look at what I was feeling. Immediately, I realized that all the complaints that I had been expressing in my mind were issues I needed to work on. When did I do this? When I did this, I felt something shift inside me. And I was able to let go for a moment of judging someone or something outside myself. In the movie Field of Dreams, the voice in Ray's head speaks as he looks at his father on the field, and Ray thinks the words are his father's. Ease his pain, go the distance. It was him. But the voice says, no, Ray, it was you. It's always been you. I wish I had had that talk with myself earlier in the week, because when I finally let go of judging the children for too much TV, eating too much sugar, not enough exercise, I realized all those things were my own voice in my head saying, no, Linda, it's you. It's always been you. The judgments are our own thoughts trying to tell us to take a good look at ourselves. Thoughts will go away when they have taught us what we need to know. After a year of isolation and contemplation, of thinking I had it all together and was on my road to, quote, enlightenment, I realized that being in the world is a wonderful, crazy place to be. Each person and each experience opens us up and reflects back to us where we need to go next. Life gives us the opportunity to grow at our own pace, to see what is really the truth and not just our opinion or beliefs. When we let go, of judging other people, we allow them to be who they are and ourselves who we were meant to be. The road to enlightenment, it's an inside job. And other people and circumstances shine a light on our path and make it easier to find our way home. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. I wish you had been to our class this morning because your talk was just an extension of what we read in the Seth book by Jane Roberts this morning, was encouraging us to look inside and to see where our belief systems were, what caused them. And it was just, your talk was just a really good extension of what we read. Thank you so much. Does anyone have anything that they would like to say to Linda?
That's exactly what I was going to say. She should have been in our class this morning. She would have heard me. I was talking about the relationship I have with the mother of my great grandbaby and my personal thoughts on raising children and how she's doing it, and my ability to keep my mouth shut and watch how she does it, and then hopefully she watches how I do it. Maybe she picks up a few examples. But yes, you were obviously listening into our class this morning, because that's what we were talking about. Thank you very much. That was very, very good.
Yeah.
Very much in tune. Anyone else?
Yes, Linda, Cynthia here. Once again, such a beautiful message, such a beautiful talk, and I will say it again, I think you need to get it published.
I don't think I'm there.
Thank you, Linda. It was great. And I was just talking about our church to my husband this morning. I was telling him, I've never heard anyone gossip about anybody at church. And we always just ask about each other, how we're doing. And so it kind of went along with what we were talking about. But I'm guilty of all that too. Thank you.
Long way to go, don't we?
We do, a long way.
It was nice to see your sister here too.
Yes.
Yeah, she helps a lot through all of this. She's a big support. I couldn't do it without her.
Obviously, she's not who you went to visit.
No, she's not.
Okay, well, thank you so much again, Linda, for coming and sharing with us. It is always worthwhile to hear you and listen to you. You have so much to share, and so much wisdom, so much that we can all relate to. Every one of your talks is something that we could relate to, and that's good. That's really good. So, Fred, are you ready to sing us another song? All right.
Uh-huh.
You're muted, Fred.
Well, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. Yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, every way, every day and every way. I'm gonna let my little light shine. Light that shines is the light of love. Shines out like this from above. Shines on me and it shines on you. Shows you what the power of love can do. Yes, it shines my light both bright and clear, and it shines my light both far and near. In every dark corner that I find, I'm gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, every day, every day and every way. I'm gonna let my little light shine. Well, Monday gave me the gift of love. Tuesday, peace came from above. And Wednesday told me to have more faith. And a Thursday gave me a little more grace. Yeah, Friday told me to watch and pray. And Saturday told me just what to say. Sunday gave me the power to mind. Let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, well, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, every way, every day and every way. I'm gonna let my little light shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, every day, every day and every way. I'm gonna let my little light shine. Let it shine.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you. Thank you. Such uplifting things that we have here. I look every week. I just, no matter what my struggles are, in this past week, I had some struggles. And, I thought, well, if I could just make it till Sunday and we can have those couple of hours where I have peace and I have light that's coming in and I can get connected back with my family, I'll be okay. And I kept hanging on to that. And guess what? Here we are. And I feel fulfilled once again with the power and light of the love of the fellowship of spirit. And so that's good. That's really good. Thank you, Fred. Fred's eyes are all healed. We could stop asking him about it. He can see us as well as we can see him, maybe better. And so we've taken him off our list, Power of 8, because he says that he is well down the road on the way to being fully healed. And we can be grateful for that. Now's the time to be grateful, that you went through it and it's all good. We're glad, Fred. We are happy for you. This is the time that we have for announcements. Jerry, do you have any announcements?
No, not really. Dee is prepared to go in and start cleaning. I kind of was not sure when you wanted her to do it. And instead of paying her by the month, I figured since we might need her to go in and clean a little bit more or differently, that we would just need to pay her by the week as to however long it took her to do it. So
By the time and the effort.
exactly. So anyway, you let me know when you think that she needs to go in and start. Up until yesterday when you guys went in, there hadn't been anybody in there but me and occasionally Steve. So just kind of wait until we decide what day we're going to go in, huh? And then
Well, some of it we expected. There was a little bit musty smell and things in there, but there was also
still
a
some
lingering
skunk smell.
of a skunk.
I
And we
think,
don't know, is it from the old one we just trapped or a new
yes.
one? Oh, okay. It wasn't overwhelming, but it was right by the front door. You know, I could really, that's the first thing that hit me whenever I opened the door was
Well,
skunk smell.
it could be that we need to go downstairs and spray, because that's where he was down in the basement. And so that smell is locked in there and it's seeping up slowly. He's
Yeah.
not still in there, but
his presence lingers, huh? All right. Okay, we can do it. What else?
nothing real serious. I've been checking the mail, and in case any of you are worried, the mailbox is secure. So if you're worried about putting your mail in there or just dropping your checks by in an envelope, it's not a problem. The mailbox is locked and secure, so please don't worry about it. Okay.
Yeah. There again, we don't focus on money, but we still have expenses, and all of your tithes and your offerings are appreciated as we go forward, and we have survived on all levels during this past year. We have actually grown as a fellowship. Our finances are back to where they are, you know, they're not depression level. We're doing okay. We're not rich, but we're maintaining and growing a little bit financially. And we've just added to our presence, as we talked about earlier, with our Zoom presence is not going to go away. And do not feel pressured about having to come back as soon as we open the door. If you don't feel comfortable being in the physical church, you're still going to be able to experience over Zoom, just like we're doing today. We're going to continue that. So we want everybody to come we just want to continue to give people choices so that we can have a choice of being in the physical church, or we can be in our building, or we can still be on Zoom, and it'll be good. It'll be good.
And are we still looking at trying to get in there the second weekend of April?
I think that's what they suggested. Last week we voted on that. So that's what we are shooting at. I don't think that we'll have any problem being technically ready in a couple of weeks from now. So next weekend is Easter Sunday, and George Harris is going to come and give us an Easter message. So we can look forward to that. George is feeling better. I don't know if he's with us today. I don't think he is. But we saw him at Power of 8. He was able to come and do half of the session, and he continues to strengthen, and it's obvious in his demeanor and the way that he talks, and he's able to interact, that he is coming back to us. So from his struggle and his challenges. And so we're very grateful and appreciative of that. Margaret, do you have anything to say about our Power of 8?
Actually, I do. George was there last Thursday, and after we were focusing on one person, he had an impression about that, and he said, "What is the lesson to be learned?" And I got to thinking about what Linda said today. Nothing ever goes away until we learn whatever it is we need to learn from it. And so I thought that was really important to focus on what Linda said also. Nothing goes away until we learn the lesson that we're meant to learn about it.
How true, how true. Thank you, Margaret. Yeah, we are currently, we're praying for about 18 or 19 people. Is that right? That's how many we have on our list, although we dropped Fred off, so we have one less. And a couple of other people, but we have some of our people are really in serious challenges with cancer and different things that are life-threatening things. And everyone that we talk to, it seems that they're either improving or holding their own, and that's about all that we can ask for. Bob, I don't know, is Bob here today? I didn't think so. Maybe they're out playing in the sunshine. I really hope so. I don't worry about if people don't show up. I just hope that they're having fun wherever they are.
I had
Yeah,
talked to,
they're in Hovenweep right now.
Are
Yeah.
they? All right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Steve, it's good to see you. There you go. Now I can see you. Yeah, and Jenny made it back from her trip. She had an adventure going to South Padre Island.
Have an announcement.
Yeah.
Can I
We'll
make
go
my
for it.
announcement? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So we recorded the Broadway for Brunch show for Caliente Choir, and so it's online now. It was a mess last night when they tried to do it, whatever they were trying to do, but it's all worked out now. So I'm trying to tag Fellowship of Spirit, but I'm having really mixed results. So anyway, it is under Caliente Community Chorus. And it's the first thing you'll see are red curtains. And my quote unquote stepsister act is about 5 minutes in, but it's worth watching the whole thing because it's outstanding. So yeah, and you will laugh a lot. I think
Is it on YouTube? Is it on YouTube? Is that what you're saying? Is this a YouTube?
Right now I'm looking at Facebook. I think it is on YouTube, but I'm not seeing the correct link. Maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, the whole show takes an hour, but the stepsisters are early on. So I recommend it.
Okay, so you might go and try to search out the Caliente. Say it again.
Community Chorus. I think I put it in chat. Let's see. Okay. I can't see the whole thing. Let's see.
Caliente Broadway for Brunch.
Yeah, okay. And it's on Facebook, and I will write it again. Caliente Community Chorus. Caliente.
Oh, okay, on
We've
Facebook.
had several people in fellowship that have been in it at some time. Oh, that went to Linda. Never mind. Sorry, Linda. Let me go for everyone. There is Caliente. Anyway.
Okay. So that's part of the talent of fellowship expressing itself in the world. And you are an aspect, you're a very good ambassador for fellowship because your presence is always enjoyed and appreciated.
Well,
thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Pam, are you doing okay? You doing fine? Good. Well, Pam just froze. I think, nope, maybe. I don't know. She's good. Neva and Don, are y'all doing good? All right. Everybody's a thumbs up. Mike Rose. Yeah. Well, anyway, fellowship is going good. The world is good. The suns are shining and the birds are singing and it is beautiful outside. And we just need to continue to do what we're doing because it seems to be working. So that's good. Is there anything else that someone would like to bring before the fellowship before we close for the week? All right. Well, Father, Mother God, we thank you for this day, this beautiful day that you have given us. We thank you for the gray days so that we would have comparison, that we never get bored, Father. And we thank you for each other, that we can share heart to heart with each other and help each other through this life that we have. We ask that you would give special blessings and special love and light energy to those that are having physical challenges and they're having problems. We ask that you would give them blessings. We ask that you would bless our church as we try to expand back out into a physical presence to help us to guide us, that we may do it in a healthy and a safe way, and that everyone that comes will feel comfortable, and that we will not put anybody in danger of catching anything. Father, we ask that you would just bless our congregation as we go into this next week. Protect us from harm, and just help us to have open hearts, open heads, and open hands as we go forward. In the name of Christ consciousness, amen. All right. Well, that's good. Everyone, we can hang around. I'm just going to turn off the recording.